Move it on.
We're good? Cool, all right. All right, so we'll open the zoning board of appeals for Thursday, June 11th, 2026. Pretty short agenda tonight, but first and foremost on that, I want to go through the minutes from the April or the May 14th meeting. Everyone received those minutes? Everyone had a chance to review?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion or are there any changes, I guess, proposed for the minutes from the 14th? All right, do we have a motion for acceptance of the minutes?
Motion that.
All right, do we have a second?
Sure, second.
All right, David. All right, all in favor of that? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. So the variance application that we have today is the Lopez area variance. And it's for, I guess I'll waive the reading of that because it was published in the Sentinel, but can I have a motion to open the public hearing for this variance?
So moved.
And then second?
Yes.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, Amy, you want to come on up? Cool.
Well, it's like. Good.
So-
Good. Good.
Little hazard.
Before I put the wind sail in, you can take it down.
Yeah.
Cool,
Moving the can of Coke?
yeah.
Yeah, good idea. Well, you know how deeply we care about Mendon because that's evidenced by how many times I've appeared in front of the board, right? So we completed a project, as you know, in 2015. And where we converted, it was an adaptive reuse of the Mendon Pony Club, converted that to our house and our horse farm. And it actually won a Design Excellence Award recognized by the Architect Institute of America, as well as Western New York Landmark Society. And we're taking that same care and attention to detail and context of design to our new project at 3842 Clover Street. This is going to become the home of my daughter and her husband, who I forced to come with me this evening, who also are very entrenched in the Mendon community. Alexis actually heads up marketing communications at Equicenter. So she's very excited about living 3 miles from work. And her husband is a preschool teacher and is also, fingers crossed, interviewing for a job very locally very soon. So again, we're all very entrenched in the Mendon community and want to do everything we can to, continue to steward our properties. So we're requesting a zoning variance to allow for the removal of an existing unsafe, non-conforming 2-story barn structure. We want to replace it with a smaller, low-profile carport. You've seen similar to the one that we put on our own property, but smaller in scale. So the proposal is intended to not intensify or create more density on the property. It actually will create a net reduction in scale, net reduction in impact, and a net reduction in the nonconformity of the property itself. It'll reduce the visual impact to the surrounding park and improve the functionality of an already constrained small residential lot. The existing conditions, in short, are not really sustainable from a safety perspective or from a land use perspective, and certainly not from the ability to restore that barn perspective. You've seen it clearly by your face. You've seen it. There's no foundation. It would cost as much to restore it as it did for us to purchase the entire property. So the constraints that, in our opinion, the constraints are that the lot's under a 1/4 acre, and this is an unusual constraint because it's also surrounded on 3 sides by Mendon Ponds Park. The backyard contains a septic field, which limits the usable area. And the property, the existing setbacks affect nearly all feasible building locations. And because of these constraints, there's no viable location for a replacement structure that avoids the setbacks while remaining functional. So the proposed location behind the existing garage is the least visible, least impactful, and really most practical placement for a useful location on the site. So we're proposing removing the existing barn in its entirety, constructing a low-profile, open-air carport. It's designed to match the existing structures. I don't know if you've driven by in the past week, but we've painted it, we've put on a new roof. So the carport will be in that same, you know, vein. It's gonna be very tasteful. It's gonna kind of go away into the landscape. It'll be accessed via the existing driveway, so there's no curb cut or no site disruption. And it'll serve a simple solution for vehicle parking where the garage will be used for snow blower and lawnmowers and tools and bikes and canoes and things like that. So our intent is to really develop something that's minimal visibility, minimal mass. Again, located directly behind the existing garage, low profile materials and construction to match existing structures, no walls, no enclosure, etc. So the variances are the setback due to constrained lot geometry and accessory structure lot coverage because it's slightly over exceeds that 2% constrained lot requirement. And that really sums it up. It's, you know, the comparison of the before and after would really be the, you know, existing condition is a larger mass, 2-story vertical structure that's unsafe, visually prominent, non-conforming with multiple setbacks. The proposed condition is single-story open air, structurally simple and safer, better screened by the existing garage, reduced visual obstruction, and a smaller overall footprint than the existing structure. So the net result is really safer, less visible, lower impact structure that's more conforming than the current, if you want to call it a barn.
Just for sake of clarifying, I mean, it's the age of the property and do you have an estimate on the age of the barn itself that's being demolished? I mean, I recall, I believe the house is late 1700s.
I think it's early 1800s.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to assume the barn's the same age.
Okay.
And before you knew me here through my current, you know, where we live on Taylor Road, I actually had another barn project on Topspin Drive where I moved a barn from Iowa, and I personally level barns, and I'm heartbroken that we can't restore it. But we also don't have like $200,000 to restore a barn that's not worth restoring.
Is there any, it's relatively flat where it would be going. I just wondered if there's any ponding or site grades that you'll have to improve when you remove that.
No,
I haven't been inside the barn itself, but
I was actually, I haven't walked inside of it. I was there, Alexis and I were there 2 days ago. And I opened up, looked inside, and it looks like everything is at the same grade. And I haven't noticed any, I walked the backyard actually because I was critiquing the weed whacking that was being done. And there's no ponding, there's no wetness.
and I guess I was also asking, is the thought that you'll extend the gravel through the entirety of the carport?
Yeah, the gravel would go under the carport to support a vehicle being parked underneath it.
It's not a concrete slab.
Nope.
carport.
It's gravel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any plans to do utilities or anything else to the carport?
No.
Okay. And then it will be, you said open air, correct?
Yes.
And roof material will match the
Match the
existing
house. It'll be a metal roof.
Okay.
Same metal,
Yep.
standing seam.
Same standing seam, same green, same color. Yeah.
Did you give consideration to, the carport makes what is otherwise a straight through view from the street?
Mhm.
Would put a portion of the carport in front of that and put you up within 2.5 feet of the property line.
Mhm.
Did you give any consideration to same footprint, but just rotated and
We
so
did,
it's less view?
yeah.
Bringing both cars in from the side?
We did, it actually, in order to do that, Chris laid it out, and he couldn't be here today because he's at a conference in California. He laid it out and it ended up being slightly larger footprint. And we needed 6 pylons, 6 pillars instead of 4. So it would actually be a more expensive, larger impact to the property
Your
than,
corner wouldn't be, it would still,
Yeah, I was looking
the
at
corner would still impact close to the setback.
yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
It would actually impact the setback more.
And the air conditioner would also be on the septic field.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, the field comes all the way over.
It's,
It's this outline right here though, isn't
Yeah.
it? All right.
it would pull it almost into that.
No, I'm not saying move it, shift it
Yeah,
this way.
you're
I
saying
mean,
turn it.
rotate it 90 degrees, so it's a little wider than the footprint of the garage. So it increases the setback. It's still non-conforming from the northern line. It's still non-conforming from the back line. It's just less of a.
I believe the way it's set up with the vertical and the perpendicular parking, it's actually only non-conforming to 2 setbacks versus if we rotated, it would be non-conforming to 3 setbacks.
Question I have with the site plan is, it shows that your gravel driveway is on Mendon Pond side of the property line.
That it goes over the Mendon Pond side?
As well as in the back of the lot. So it's-
New gravel driveway, and that kind of.
When I was out there with Chris, we couldn't find them survey markers, so I don't know if it was surveyed in between now and then.
I don't think it was surveyed. I think he just drew that in there. So, I mean, that can actually be modified if we need to bring that in closer to the existing garage. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, basically like where the line actually stands for your property line there.
Yeah.
Relative to the driveway.
I think it's pretty close relative to the driveway. It's probably on the driveway is the property line is my assumption, the way it sits right now. Although it's just kind of brush and like scrub brush and stuff. It
So
hasn't been
hasn't been
maintained.
actually surveyed with a.
No,
Okay.
no.
And I think as you guys would go forward, you would still need to do that for the driveway anyway, so. You answered one of my questions earlier, which is gonna be what's the intent of the long-term use of the property, because. I did notice when you guys did paint it, it says now you have the sign that says residence, to make sure to not.
He
Yeah.
painted it like the park structure, so he didn't want people pulling in the driveway and knocking on the door and saying, oh, can we rent this place for our next cookout? So, although
Makes
I'm
sense.
not sure even Alexis might like that as a reoccurring revenue stream.
Um. What else have questions? Vince?
It's only about how we act on it. It would be important not to have the driveway approach on
Right,
I
our
agree.
property.
yeah,
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Let me take a, check the questionnaire.
Yeah, I think that's a big factor is where this property line actually sits
Mhm.
relative to
Yeah.
the driveway.
mm-hmm,
Cause that measurement might actually be different, this 2'6".
Well, the gravel,
Cause do we really know?
gravel doesn't really play in, right, David? It doesn't really play into
It doesn't,
the structure.
It's the structure that's based.
structure is,
So-
right. Right, whether there's. You don't need to, you can, but you don't need to impose a condition that says they have to abide by their property lot lines. If they construct over it, that would be in violation of the law, regardless of whether you had a condition or not.
Gotcha, okay.
Danny, do we have any public comment? I don't have any other questions on my side either, so I want to just thank you for providing a thorough overview of your
You're very
project and
welcome.
intent,
And thank you for your consideration. If any questions should come up, Chris and I are available to answer them. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
you as well.
Thank you.
Figure out how to refold.
local matter, by the way, though.
Yes.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, you as well.
Take care. See here.
First, you want to close the public hearing?
Um. Yeah, I guess do it. You guys wanna discuss, take action tonight? I was kind of wasn't waiting for closing it or not, so.
I'd like to discuss, the only thing that makes me nervous about it is there is not an actual survey, and can the driveway still work?
It is it's still the onus as even on any building permit that is provided that they use.
Abide
actual-
by the-
that they abide by property surveys, so
So it's on them if.
that it's on the property owner,
Yeah.
so.
But to echo Jeff's point, can we be confident that the non-conforming setback is just 2.5 feet? If that's all based on electronic records.
That's what I'm trying to
As
figure out.
opposed to
Like if this line's actually over
a
here,
site survey.
maybe it's 3 foot, or
But
if the property line's here, maybe it's actually 1 foot. Cause I asked when I was out there and there was no property lines anywhere.
If
No
we
stakes.
were to approve a variant, if we were to approve the area variance based on 2.5 feet, and it turns out when they actually get surveyed that it's 1. Does our approval become?
Does that make
void?
sense,
Does it
Chris?
still stand?
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you can, what you could do is, impose a condition that says that the, variance is for no greater than 2.5 feet, or whatever they're asking for. You know,
If provide a condition that allows Corey upon building permit to verify, and if it
Yeah.
doesn't, then,
yeah. Do that.
okay,
Maybe you could condition it to say that, prior to construction, or applicant shall confirm with code enforcement officer that the variances in fact, would be in fact for no greater than 2.5 feet. Something to.
no less than 2.5
Yeah,
feet.
no less
Yeah,
than-
yeah.
It's a good point. Thank you for
Yeah.
raising that on that. Okay. Any other questions or comments that we want to make, or they want to make motion to close the public hearing, or?
One
One little nitpick,
Sure.
just
Yeah.
so it's on the record.
in a way,
She said the property is under 1/4 of an acre, according to Monroe County GIS, it's not, it's 0.29.
0.29, and that's what's on the tax ID record as well,
Hardly
so,
worth mentioning, but
yeah,
yeah.
on that note.
sure.
I'm,
You wanna make a motion for it, or?
I'm fine as long as we say something, give us some type of 2.5, 2, 1.5, somewhere in that range. You know. as a-
Okay. Yeah. Fine. I guess I would make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Second it, all right, all in favor of that?
Aye.
It's everyone. So do we want to take action on this tonight then, or leave it open? I guess if we
I want
want
to see that there's any material questions or changes that
Yeah, I feel like we could take action, but
okay, and then we can use,
comments like react on it.
we can use just, yeah, we can use the condition just to. Okay. They want to move and take a second on those?
I move that we act on the Lopez area variance determination.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Cool, so I'll read through it, and then as we get to the 5 questions, if you guys, just as normal, would help me with filling out. Self and David filling out the justification for it, so. All right, so Vince Dick, seconded by David McInnes. That the area variance requested by Amy and Chris Lopez for property located at 3842 Clover Street, tax ID number 191.03-1-1.1. The property is zoned RA-2 to allow a side setback variance of 2 feet 6 inches. An accessory structure lot coverage of approximately 6.9%. B, and is the motion to grant, what I recall. So
Grant.
based on the following, whereas code town 260-106 requires a 20-foot side setback, and section 260-8C3 limits the total area of accessory structures to no more than 2% of the total lot area. And whereas the property is 0.29 acres, approximately 12,632.4 square feet. There's an existing one-story workshop garage and a two-story barn on the lot, totaling 844 square feet, which is approximately 6% of the total lot coverage. And the barn being a prior non-conforming structure with only a 12-foot side setback and 11-foot 9-inch rear setback. Whereas the applicant is proposing a demolishment of the barn to construct a 27-foot by 21-foot one-story open-air carport, which would have a proposed 2-foot 3-inch side setback and a 25-foot 4-inch rear setback as depicted in the site plan submitted by Architectural Studio PC dated April 14th, 2026, and which would increase the total accessory structure coverage of a lot to 6.9%, eliminate the prior rear setback nonconformity, but increase the side setback nonconformity. Whereas the above property owner appeared before the Zoning Board of Appeals at the public hearing on the June 11, 2026 meeting, and whereas the application was sent to the ZBA attorney and the town code enforcement officer for review. Whereas this application was sent to Monroe County Planning Board for review pursuant to General Municipal Law 239-M, the application was returned as a local matter of comments. Whereas the ZBA held a public hearing and the public was given the opportunity to comment on the application. And whereas the ZBA has considered the application and any submissions by interested parties as part of the record of these proceedings. Now therefore be it resolved, the application constitutes a type 2 action under SECRA and no further environmental review is required. Be it therefore further resolved that the ZBA has weighed the effects of the requested variance against the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood community, and hereby the motion is to grant the requested variance based on the following findings. The requested benefit can or cannot be achieved by other feasible means. I think it cannot, because I don't think it can get it out of both the
Even twisting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's also based on I would say based on the septic
Yes.
field, the lot size.
The amount of coverage they need for 2 automobiles, they can't.
Yes.
Decrease it, so I agree.
The request is or is not substantial.
Say it is.
It is, and because it's taking 18 feet out or 17 plus feet out of the side setback requirement. I don't know if we need to change that into a percentage or something, but
That's fine.
that's fine, okay. The request will or will not have an undesirable change in the neighborhood. I'm with you on that one. It's will not, it's actually an improvement of what is existing there. The existing structure is
It's been
unstable
designed
and
to take
safe.
into account existing finishes and minimizing visual and lot impingement.
I think we could also capture, it's trying to keep in character with park surrounding, it's surrounded she mentioned surrounded 3 sides of the park.
Yes,
It's taking visual aesthetics from the park design and their structures. The request will or will not have an adverse effect on the physical and or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district.
because it's not materially changing the use of the property.
So will not. The difficulty is or is not self-created.
It is.
Is there an aspect of it that could not be? Because
This
this is
really
a,
confused me because it's already,
No,
while it's
it's still,
grandfathered, it's already non-conforming.
it's still self-created because they want to put the carport in. So they need, it's not like the law changed and they're suddenly, they want to, they have a pre-existing non-conforming barn. they want to remove the barn, which is fine, but then they want to put something else in its
Okay.
place, which is
And
actually
that
arguably.
And change the use of the existing garage from being for cars.
Well, not just that, but
Something
just
else.
regarding the carport and the removed barn, it's actually expanding the non-conforming use because you're removing it, you're increasing the square footage of the non-conformity, because now it's going from 6%, which is
Where it
already
is
more,
self-created.
to 0.9%. So it's all because of what they want to do with the property. It's still not, it's still something.
And be it further resolved that this approval is conditioned. And I believe from what I will summarize from before is that we wanted to require that the setback is no, I guess it would be fewer.
Yeah, so what I wrote
No
is,
less than.
the condition would be prior to the issuance of the building permit that the applicant confirm to the code enforcement officer that the site setback would be no less than 2 foot 6 inches from the property line.
You need to, because on the front page,
Yeah, just,
it
yep,
says 2 feet 3 inches. On the plans, it says plus or minus 2 feet 6 inches.
Okay.
So we've either got to change the text on the first page to conform with the plan. We gotta.
just change that
make
to
it
6
2 foot
inch.
3 inches.
Where do you see 2.3?
It says,
Okay, got it.
Side setback, cause up here it's 2.6.
Okay, remember.
And it's 6 on the plans.
So
Thank
it
you
is
for that
6.
catch.
It was just.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Typical conditions that we've looked at, I think she already had mentioned around the roof structure material being there. I'm satisfied with the fact that they will hold that just because they
Yes.
have done that on other projects already. Any other conditions that folks wanted to add on that?
So what distance are you going?
2.6. Yeah. That was what was on the plans itself, so.
Yeah. that's to be confirmed at the time of.
Building permit.
Prior to building permit
Building
being issued.
You know, when you're all set, like,
Oh, I'm.
you're good?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right, anyone else have no more conditions? We good with that?
Ready to roll.
All right, be it further resolved, this is, never mind, following discussion on the resolution, the following roll call was vote and taken and recorded. All in favor of this, determination as read? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's carried. Cool. So we will move to general discussion. There's no one else here. Is there anyone online with any comments or anything? No. I guess from the upcoming meeting, it looks like we have just 2 things on July 23rd, 2026. I think through just some informal conversation, we all should be good for that meeting, so we will have 2, as it stands right now, 2 other appeals and hearings on that, so no one has anything else. I'll take a motion to close the meeting.
Motion close.
Second it.
All right, all in favor of close?
Aye.
Great.
So what are these 2 ones?